What about the moments leading up to that where you're like, hey, it's like, I want to quit? It's like, was there like a breakdown moment? Was there something that kind of pushed you over the edge where it's like, okay, I don't even want to do this anymore? Like, can you share what that was like or what that was?
Sure. So when I was in high school, I had 3 knee surgeries, and I'm old enough that my first 2 knee surgeries were pre-arthroscopic. So I have a large zipper scar on the outside of my right knee. And so I was just lucky to be able to play basketball in college, having had 3 knee surgeries in high school. And I was basically in a boot camp type of situation. I'm marching around, I'm running and all that kind of stuff. And my knee was really aggravated and it was hurting. And that physical pain was basically my mind telling me, hey, this is ridiculous. Knock this off. You need to quit. You need to give up. This hurts. You're going to end up hurting yourself. And I was again, as my dad said, you're in your head. You are so in your way that it led me to the point where literally, like I said, I was getting ready to quit. I was giving up a full college scholarship. I still today, 40 years later, I can't even fathom doing something that stupid. But I was willing to do it because my brain was telling me I was physically hurting and it was telling me to stop and quit and get away from this.
So obviously your brain was doing that a lot then. And then what was the turning point? Was it the letter? Because that's a letter where your dad's giving you those encouraging words. But at the end of the day, you still got to control your brain. And you're somebody who's still at a fairly young age. And so what was it that you did at that point in time to be able to it's like that's a letter. But what did you do to make the switch to control your brain, to be able to direct it the way you want?
I guess in a nutshell, embrace the suck. This is terrible. It's lousy. It's uncomfortable, but it will eventually end and it will make me a better man. It will make me a better human being. And it absolutely did. I needed to go to the Citadel. I needed that kind of yelling and screaming and, come on, Terry. I'd never been away from home other than like basketball camps in the summer for a week or something like that. And here I was in a strange city, 1,000 miles from anybody who cared about me or loved me. And it was like, you know what, Terry, you can't rely on mom and dad anymore. You can't rely on your brothers or your grandparents or your girlfriend. You've got to rely on you. You've got to be your own man. You've got to develop as a human being and as a leader. And that's one of the things the Citadel taught me and something I absolutely needed to have at that point in my life.
So for people who might not have had that experience, who maybe don't have that military experience or that like disciplinary experience where it's just like, where it's just on you, like how can those people, like what can those people do to be able to maybe adopt some of those beliefs or to get that grit or get that toughness that you got from going through that experience?
Yeah, and I'll offer this to your audience, and I do this every day of my life. So I'm not offering you something that I don't do. Every day, do something that scares you, that makes you nervous, that makes you uncomfortable, that's potentially embarrassing. It doesn't have to be a big thing, but if you do those small things every day, when the big disasters in life hit us, and they hit all of us, we lose somebody close to us, we unexpectedly get let go from our job, we find out we have a chronic or a terminal illness, you will be so much more resilient to handle those things than those people that just stay in their comfort zone. I lived my entire life in my comfort zone. I worked very hard to get back after my knee surgery, so I did step out in that regard, but I never wanted for anything. I never had to work that hard. I had food on the table, clothes on my back, went to a great high school and I had parents that loved and cared about me. I never had to worry about things that probably some people in your audience, they're worried about their next meal. They're worried about getting let go from their job or their kid's illness or whatever it is. Do difficult things every day and you will be much more resilient. It's not, like I said, it's not hard. You don't have to do anything major, but like take a cold shower, after your regular shower. I hate the dentist. The other day I called and made my 6-month dentist appointment. You're like, well, that's not a big deal. If you hated the dentist as much as I did, that would be a big deal. But it's those little things that you don't want to do. Do those things and you will get to that point of being resilient, having grit.
That's what I love about what you're sharing right now. It's you're not just speaking it or you're not just sharing it, but you're actually living it and you're doing it every single day.
Yeah. I mean, if you can't walk the walk and talk the talk, it's hard to be credible with people. I mean, you sort of got to show yourself warts and all. It's like, look, I've made these mistakes. I'm going to share them with you. So hopefully you don't have to make them, or you can learn something from them and things like that. And that's really why I do this, why I go on podcasts. And, I don't want everybody, I mean, you're looking at me right now. I mean, there's no S on my chest. I do not have a cape and fly around with magical powers. I have those bad days even now dealing with cancer and things like that. So how can I do those hard things every day to make me more resilient when I have to go for my cancer treatments and things like that?